Feeling yourself just landing here in this place. Feeling the sit bones into the ground, the spine elongating up, the shoulders pulling back and down, the chin pulling back, opening the throat. Feel as though there's a string attached to the very top of your head, the top of your crown, and it's gently pulling you up. So it's just this sort of steady upward pull, but not hard. It's not a yank. It's just this sort of steady elongation up towards the sky. At the same time, the shoulders are coming back, the chin is coming back. So you feel the front side opening. Notice how when we tend to sit, we tend to slouch, right? We tend to sort of slouch forward. And we let the spine kind of go into a C curve. We want to get it back into that nice kind of S curve, pulling the chin back, lengthening up to the crown. And as we keep the little part of our attention on that elongation of the spine, the opening of the front side of the body, so you start to feel that kind of opening between the pubis bone, the heart center, the throat center, the third eye center, the crown. It's all kind of opening up, becoming spacious. Everything else starts to relax. The face relaxes, the shoulders relax, the arms relax, the thighs relax, the neck relaxes. So we let go of everything we don't need to engage other than those muscles that we're training to hold ourselves up and open, up and open, up and open. Eventually, those muscles will get developed and we'll stop thinking about that as well. We'll be able to sit elongated without as much conscious effort. Big part of why we do our yoga, why we do our physical aspect of yoga, is so that we can sit like this. So we can sit with the spine and the chakras open, available, ready to both give and receive that divine energy, that divine wisdom. Softening the shoulders, softening the face. Begin to deep breathe through the nose. Inhale, chest and belly rise. Exhale, chest and belly fall towards the spine. Inhale, chest and belly rise. Exhale, chest and belly fall towards the spine. Pull the shoulders back, open the heart. Inhale, chest and belly rise. Exhale, chest and belly falls. Letting go, letting go, letting go. Inhale, chest and belly rises. Exhale, chest and belly falls. Soften, 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 soften. Inhale, chest and belly rise. Exhale, chest and belly falls. We're going to start to do a little mantra and visualization of the chakras meditation. We're going to bring our hands into Gyan Mudra, index fingers to the thumb. We're going to bring our hands as low down towards the base of the spine as we can. We're going to focus, so we're kind of sitting like this and just bringing the hands all the way down, focusing the energy down low into the base of the spine, pulling the shoulders back, lengthening up through the crown. Begin to bring our awareness to the base of the spine, the space between the sit bones, the perineum. Bringing this awareness to this space, this connection to the earth. We start to visualize a red orb of light pulsing at the base of the spine. breathing deeply. And we're going to begin to chant Lam, 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 Lam. Take a deep inhale. Hold, visualize that red orb of light at the base of the spine. As you exhale, we're going to move up just to like about an inch or two, not even 2 inches. We're going to come into Shunya Mudra, which is the middle finger to the thumb. You're going to come up just a little bit towards the pubis bone, pull the shoulders back, focusing on the second chakra, energy of the pubic area, the reproductive organs, pulling the shoulders back, lengthening up through the crown, visualizing an orange orb of light pulsing from this second chakra energy, this energy of creativity, of sensuality, creation, sensuality, sexuality, opening that area of energy, this orange orb of light, pulsing. We're going to begin to chant Vam, 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 Vam. Inhale. Hold, focusing the attention, the awareness on that orange orb of light vibrating at the second chakra, pelvis. As you exhale, hands come up a few more inches to the navel center. We're going to come into Surya Mudra, which is with your ring finger to your thumb. Sun Mudra, bringing the hands right to the navel center, that third chakra, that chakra of will, of manifestation. This is that strength in the third chakra helps us to make things happen. Pulling the shoulders back, lengthening up. Visualize a yellow orb of light pulsing from your navel center, space around the middle of the spine. Breathing deeply. We're going to begin to chant Ram, 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 rum, 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 rum. Inhale. Hold the attention at that navel center, yellow orb of light pulsing. Exhale, bring the hands up. Place the left hand on top of the heart center, right hand on top of the heart center. Shoulders back, crown up, chin back, spine elongates, open the heart. This is fourth chakra, Nata chakra, the chakra of love, compassion, of integration. Visualize a green orb of light pulsing. Shoulders back, crown up, sending healing energy in and out through the heart center. Begin to chant Yum, 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 Yum. Inhale. Hold, suspend, let that energy build in the heart. Exhale, the hands release. We're going to come into Buddhi Mudra, which is thumb to the pinky finger. The other three fingers are together, right? Thumb to the pinky, other three fingers together. Place your fingers beside your throat. Focus on the throat and the pit of the throat. Fifth chakra, Vishuddha chakra, chakra of truth. Speaking, living from the truth. What is my truth? Strengthening my truth, seeing my truth. Visualize a blue orb of light emanating from the fifth chakra, pulsing. We'll begin to chant hum, 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 hum. Inhale. Hold. Visualize that blue orb of light pulsing at the throat center. As you exhale, bring your left hand back onto your heart center. Take your right hand. You're going to bring these two fingers together, thumb over it, so the ring and pinky finger, the third finger, the first and second finger are like a blessing, right? So we're taking this blessing and we're putting it right on our third eye center. Shoulders back, so we're connecting the third eye center, the heart center, shoulders back, crown up, focusing on the third eye. Ajna chakra, chakra of wisdom, of insight. We begin to chant Om, Om, Om. Violet orb of light pulsing from the third eye. Om, 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 Om. Inhale. Hold. Engage that violet orb of light pulsing from the third eye center. As we exhale, release the hands back down to the base of the spine, Gyan Mudra. We're going to run through the chakras, kind of slowly moving with the mantra and the mudras from the base of the spine up to the third eye. So we start at the base of the spine again, Gyan Mudra, Lam, move up, Surya Mudra, Vam, move up, Surya Mudra, Ram, move up to the heart center, Yam, up to the fifth chakra, Hum, up to the sixth chakra, Om. Start again. Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Hum, Om. Take a deep breath. Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Hum, Om. Inhale as the hands come down. Lam, Vam, Yam, Ram, Yam, Hum, Om. Lam, Vam, 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 rum, yum, hum, om, lum, vam, rum, yum, hum, om, lam, vam, rum, yum, hum, om, lam, vam, rum, yum, hum, om. And now inhale, arms up overhead. Spread the fingers and feel energy rising out of the crown in a white stream of light rising out of the crown. Hold. Exhale. Hold the arms up. Inhale again. Hold. Feel the energy rising up through the spine, base of the spine, pelvis, belly, heart, throat, third eye, out to the crown in a white stream of light, like a big funnel of light coming out of the crown. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Hold and pull up, base of the spine, pelvis, belly, heart, throat, third eye, out through the crown. Sushumna, that's Sahasrara chakra at the crown, opening up. And now exhale slowly. Let your arms come down. Take your time. Feel that energy pulsing through the chakras, through the energy centers, base of the spine, up to the crown, out into the auric field. The whole energy body now feeling alive and open. Alive and open and spacious. Alive and open. Spacious, alive, open, spacious, spacious, spacious. And taking a deep inhale. And slowly begin to open your eyes. So, that's kind of a trip. Hope everybody's doing okay after that. That's there's a lot going on in that meditation. And be a good time to probably just do a little journaling right now. After that one, because that can bring up all kinds of stuff along the way. It's like a journey through ourselves, really. And as we go through this journey, we kind of like bump into parts of ourselves that usually could use a lot more attention. And so it's nice after a meditation like that to do some journaling, to do just some quiet time, just to kind of write down whatever's kind of popping up, because we it's a deeper dive than you might realize. You think you're probably paying mostly attention to the steps, to the mudras and the mantras and where I'm supposed to visualize and the colors and all that sort of stuff. So you may or may not experience this, but you're actually really diving into deep parts of yourself using these techniques, using the energy of the mudra, the mantra, the color, the visualization, all that sort of stuff. These are all vibrations, all energies that are going basically into both open, clear, energize, both strengthen and heal. There's all kinds of stuff happening at the same time. And so sometimes it's one of these things where we go through a meditation like that and we're not even sure what happened. Like, I'm not actually sure what happened. Something happened, but I'm not sure what it is. And that's okay. That's really, really okay. So much of this work is done beyond the intellect, beyond figuring it out, right? We think we need to figure stuff out so that we can, basically when we're trying to figure stuff out, and I'll put my hand up for this right away because this is certainly my life, and is we're trying to control outcomes, right? We're trying to figure things out so we can fit it into our mental model of the universe, so that we don't have to throw away what we don't want. We can keep what we like, but let me just see if I can add this to it, or maybe I can see if I can eliminate that. Our life is a kind of process of accumulation and elimination and control, right? And when you're doing something like a meditation like that, it sort of just throws that whole model out the window. And so it just kind of says, there's a whole nother world here that you can avail yourself of. And why don't we see what that's like? But you can't sort of take both worlds at the same time. I mean, it's not that we can't integrate. We can integrate the experience from one world to another, but they're really like different realms. They're different realms of consciousness, and they're different realms of being. And yes, one can inform the other, but you're not necessarily going to figure it out. Do you see what I mean? You're not going to say, okay, I'm going to take that realm and I'm going to see how it fits into this realm, and maybe I'll visit it when I want to and not, It's basically saying we're going into another place, another understanding of the universe. And so here we go and see what happens. So there's often there's resistance. I mean, you guys are all here and you're showing up, and you've been showing up pretty regularly for a while now. So I don't think even, you probably take for granted how far along you are already. I've been working with several new clients, and I'm not disparaging them at all. I'm really grateful for them this winter. And they cannot close their eyes and sit still for a minute. So, and I say this lovingly because I'm working with them where they're at. But it's so difficult to do that. That visualization exercise that I just did, I would do it with them, but I know that they would struggle mightily. And you might have struggled with this as well. So if you did, God bless you. That's just where we're at today. Meditation, real meditation, as I've said before, is difficult. Meditation is difficult. It's this kind of combination of both blissful moments and object terror. So it's kind of goes from one extreme to the other, and and what we're doing is getting adept at riding both of those things, not getting attached to either, being able to ride into those blissful aspects, those spacious aspects, those oneness aspects, those deep okayness aspects. At the same time, it might turn immediately into something that we just do not want to see or go into or feel or experience. It can, so meditation at its finest really is an expansion of our capacity for what is. It's not about eliminating anything. It's about saying, hey, I can hold all of this, all of my feelings, all of your feelings, all of the world's feelings. Just imagine, okay? So we can start to expand our ability for love and consciousness, right? We start where we're at, and we start with ourselves. And so each time we come to meditate, it's going to be different. We've gone through the series now. We've been doing not just this series, but we've been doing this for months now. There are dozens and hundreds, really, of meditation techniques. I know a few dozen pretty well, and so I share them with you. But it's all about kind of finding the ones that sort of resonate for us, given where we are today. And sometimes we want a meditation that's more soothing, more calming, more comforting, right? But not always. We shouldn't always necessarily go. I shouldn't say that, because there are great classic techniques of yoga, of meditation, which you could do every day for the rest of your life, and they would be awesome. They would be awesome, because a good meditation technique will take you to that full range no matter what, right? No matter what, it'll eventually take you through to that full range of experiences and into that open universal consciousness, right? But sometimes you might want to shift it up and say, hey, let me do a mantra meditation today. Let me do a mudra meditation. Let me do a breath meditation today. Let me do a guided yoga nidra. It's like, it's these, each one of these has sort of specific tools that it uses to get to our subconscious, get through the levels of consciousness, and start to open us up. And so that one today was a fairly complex. There was quite a lot going on with that meditation, but it's also very powerful, right? So even if you're like messing it up and you're not getting the mudras or whatever, it's like no big deal. You meet it where you're at today, and it's doing the work that you're meant to receive today. And for each person, it's going to be actually quite a different experience. They might be holding something in some other aspect, they could have a heart issue going on. They could have a sensuality issue going on. They could have a grounding issue going on. They could have, a truth issue going on. Everybody's got a different combination of things happening, right? We all actually have pretty much the same things happening on some level, but we also we're all at a different place with them in any given day, any given moment, right? And so it's like the meditation like that is going to go to where we're at, and it's going to open up what we need to open up today. And the courage is really in just showing up for the meditation and just doing it the best we can today, even if it feels like a hot mess. It's like, okay, that's the meditation today. And God bless you for showing up, right? And there's even when it's a hot mess, which again, put my hand up for plenty of those, plenty. I'm always grateful. I'm always grateful afterwards. I'm always like grateful that I could go there, that I went there, that I feel a sense of spaciousness on the other side, even when it's not the easiest path and the easiest road. And the nice thing about meditation too is you can go down these roads and you're still right here. I mean, this is one of the reasons why we meditate seated, right? For a couple of reasons, to connect ourselves into the ground, into the earth, to lengthen the spine, to get the spine elongated. But it's also like we're close to the ground. So there's a sort of comforting in this. The ground is holding us. If you have a complete mess and fall over or pass out, it's like, how far are you going to go, right? You're going to just fall over onto the ground, right? And you're going to be fine, right? So nothing's actually bad happening, even though it can be challenging and difficult, and sometimes, as I said, it can even be terrifying sometimes. And that's all right, because we're right here, we're fine, and we can go through this. And so we've managed to use up 40 minutes of our time on that. Here we go. That's okay. I sort of wanted to give a sort of overall experience that kind of might tie in a lot of the different aspects of the yamas and the niyamas, to kind of recognize that all of these lessons are going on simultaneously. They're all available to us simultaneously. We don't necessarily focus on all of them simultaneously, but we kind of can know that they're there. We know that they're available to us, and we can utilize them. We can recognize a moment of discomfort, for instance, as a moment of tapas, of heat. We could notice it as a moment to maybe bring loving kindness into this moment, right? Ahimsa. Come back to that first lesson. I'm feeling uncomfortable. How can I practice ahimsa right now? I'm feeling uncomfortable. This is a moment of tapas, of purification. I'm feeling uncomfortable. This is a moment of self-inquiry, of svadhyaya. How can I, I'm feeling uncomfortable. This is a moment of satya, a moment of truth. I am uncomfortable. No, I'm not okay. I am, I am okay, but I'm really not, and so it's like, there's all kinds of places in which these are like facets of the jewel. She uses the analogy to the jewel a lot, right? The jewel of each one. But I like to look at it as we're sort of one big jewel, like a one big diamond, and there are all these facets on the diamond. And the yamas and the niyamas and the other practices of yoga are sort of ways, are those facets of ways in to the diamond, ways that we can see the diamond, right? Ways that we can experience the diamond, right? So each aparigraha, I'm feeling uncomfortable, I'm probably clinging to something, right? If I'm uncomfortable, I'm clinging to some notion if I'm uncomfortable, right? Aparigraha says, let go, stop doing that. So it's like there's just so much richness here in these teachings, and we could just keep cycling through for the rest of our lives, no problem, okay? Every week for the rest of our lives, we could spend saying, okay, I'm going to do ahimsa this week, put it up on my mirror, look around, see where I'm going to practice loving kindness. Next week, go to the satya, and just keep going right through. And that would be an incredible commitment. We would evolve. I can't imagine a faster way that we would evolve. I mean, you add a little meditation in there once in a while, boom, what else? I mean, what else are we going to do? So we just sort of use these as ways of continuing to move towards our authentic self, our divine self. We try to move, as I kind of try to allude to in my newsletter today, to get into the flow of life. If we're instead of fighting with life or trying to make something of it, right? We actually just get into the flow of it. We start to we work with it. We dance with it. We rest when it's time to rest. We work when it's time to work. We see more clearly, like when it's like it's these analogies that we've used about being on the river and following the current, or following the tide, or you could use it as like a sailing analogy would be perfectly good. Like we're trying to get to some point, but the wind's coming from one direction, so we go on attack, and then the wind turns, and so we got to go on another attack, and then the tide comes out, and so we have to adjust for that and that. But we don't, when you're a sailor, you don't argue with that. You don't argue with nature. You just sort of figure out how to move with it, right? You figure out how to move. And so we are kind of sailors of our own lives. We're the rivermen of our own lives. And we don't fight with our lives. We move with it. We act skillfully. We keep going. And with that, the thing about the analogy sometimes falls a little apart with sailing, because you have a specific point you're trying to get to, usually in sailing. But in the spiritual world, it's much more, how am I just continuing to align with the natural forces of things? And yes, I have my intentions, but I also need to be open to the evolution of that intention, right? The intention, for instance, you could have the intention of, I want to be with this person. I want that, or I want to be in relationship with this person. But it doesn't take too much of a leap to unpack that and say, well, what is it that you really want? And what we really want usually is a sense of sort of connection and security. We want somebody to show up and go to the movies with us, or make dinners with us, or so there's all kinds of little other desires and intentions which we tend to project on that one person. That's like the sailor saying, I need to get to that buoy, right? I need that person. When actually, maybe that's not necessarily the case. Maybe it's really about this process and what is coming up for you in that process. So yes, we're just being skillful with nature and noticing when we start to try to land in one spot. We try to, as one of my teachers said, when you're that riverman going down the river, there's a tendency when you see a nice clearing to stop and hang out. And that's nice and that's fine for a little while, but you got to remember to get back in the canoe and keep going, right? Our tendency as humans is to sort of hunker down with one thing, and then we try to control that one thing, as opposed to continuing on our journey of evolution and expansion and openness. And so these yamas and niyamas are really just here to keep opening us up, keep polishing us. It's like, again, I like that facet analogy. We can kind of polish each one of those facets, right? So we polish our ahimsa facet, we polish our satya facet and parigraha facet, and we keep just working on those things with kindness, right? So it's not like, oh, I got to get there, I got to get enlightened. Like, forget about that. It's more like my commitment is to be in the service of the divine, whatever that is, right? Whatever that is, however that's supposed to show up. So I need to get myself in alignment with it and make myself available to it. And these are the tools that have gone down through the ages that are helpful. They're not the only ones. This is not the only path. There are other great models and great paths. And I think that's the other thing to keep in mind is all of these things that are models of possibilities. So like the chakras are a model of possibility. The yamas and the niyamas are a model of possibility. The koshas, the layers, the sheaths of our awareness. I mean, these are all models that help us to understand something and kind of dissect something, which is really actually pretty ethereal. It's like I said before, I'm using all this language right now because language is the way we communicate, but this deeper wisdom that maybe you experienced or tapped into during that meditation is beyond all of these models, beyond all of this language, right? So the language and the models actually eventually have to be left behind, and we venture off into this kind of spacious void isn't the right word, but it's like it's void of all the intellect, right? It is full on another level, but we use another skill set or another capacity to journey forward and to navigate into that place, right? And so I think it's important to keep that in mind, that this comes up in Ishvara Pranidhana, not Ishvara, but in self-study Svadhyaya, right? The study of scripture, right? So we can consider this scripture, right? And we use it as a guidepost and stories, just like you would use the Bible. Same idea, Quran. You use these things as stories and guideposts to help show us possibilities. But ultimately, we transcend the stories and the guideposts, and we venture forth on our own. So we don't get too stuck or too dogmatic about this, or certainly righteous, like, oh yeah, the yamas and the niyamas, this is the way, like, watch out, there's lots of different ways, and these are just particularly helpful, and ones that they've stuck around for a reason, right? There's a reason why we're still studying the yamas and the yamas and niyamas 2,500 years after they were codified. Never mind, they were going on before then, right? But 2,500 years ago, somebody wrote them down, and so and we're still doing them today. So, any case, I think I've spoken quite enough today, and without stopping. So I want to open it up to you guys for the last 10 minutes here and we can continue beyond that. But to just see where you are and what has this journey been like for you. And where maybe has it helped you, or maybe confused you, or just anything about this journey for we've been on it for like 10 weeks. That's a pretty good amount of time, and what it has kind of meant for you during these last couple months or so. So would you guys like to share? Anybody? Please just unmute yourself and chime in if you'd like to share. Clarice, please share.
Hi, everybody. Interesting, as you were speaking today, and as I've been reflecting on myself over the last few months and just checking in with myself, I'm happier because I'm not so destination oriented. I'm letting it just be whatever it is, um, without answers and not seeking answers as much, just relaxing into where we're going. So it's a better approach for me because I am much more task oriented, and I've been raised, as all of us have been, to perform and to do certain things, and this is not that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I am more in this mode, I find that I'm enjoying the moments more, and I'm enjoying the people that I'm with more, and I'm enjoying myself more. So I'm happy to.
That's great. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, it's during this time, which has been challenging for all of us, to kind of be able to find those sort of places of peace or really enjoyment is such a gift, right? It's such a gift to be able to have those times and those moments, even when on some other levels we can be struggling. And I think that's one of the really amazing things about the spiritual path. I think I've shared with you before that there are often times where I feel both this incredible beauty and gratitude and sadness at the same time. So, and it happens to me a lot now, and I'm attributing it again to the practice, which just opens us up to that full range of kind of what's going on in that sort of ethereal nature of everything's kind of coming into being and leaving. So there's both this sort of welcoming and appreciation, but also this sadness, and it's all happening all the time. And so, but that's okay, because that's the truth, And so just we build our capacity, and it opens us up, and it makes life more vibrant and more amazing, really. Yeah, but not necessarily easier. I mean, think people get this idea of enlightenment being easy. It's not. As Michael Singer said. Remember when he said that line about the spiritual being feels like they're always on the edge and being pushed through it. I'll never forget that line, right? And so it's like you're always actually. It's not every this. Well, I mean, there are these moments where you just really can deeply rest. And sometimes those rests, because of our work, are just so powerful and rejuvenating. But oftentimes you feel this kind of like, okay, that sort of feeling, and that's it. That's what we're signing up for, And so, that's okay. That's okay. Anyone else like to share? Denise, you always want to. Oh, Barbara wants to share something. We got Denise and Barbara. Let's hear from both of you guys. Go ahead, Denise.
I agree with Clarice. This has been so fulfilling because it kind of strengthens kind of what I've been feeling and meeting each week and note taking in my head and always coming back to what we've discussed. And I've really found the beauty in surrendering, which is really what I've been focusing on. And yes, Clarice, I agree. I'm happier with myself. I'm enjoying others around, even those that were more difficult to deal with. It's becoming a lot nicer to be in a discussion or whatever. Maybe it's the way I'm approaching it and handling it. But it's real during the pandemic, which everybody's been, a lot of people frazzled and not happy. And I have to say, this being together and going through the Yamas and Niyamas has been so beneficial because it's reinforcing what I'm feeling and it makes me more aware. So yeah, this has just been wonderful. And I'm more calm, much more calm than I was a year ago, for instance. So yeah.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you, Denise. Thanks. Barbara, how's this been for you?
I feel that this has helped me in a way just not deal with the ups and downs, to take out some of the drama of life, which pushes you sometimes to make decisions that are not always the greatest because you're dealing with something on a whim. It has given me more time for reflection and also to deal with the things that happen that aren't as great in your life as you would hope for them to be. And it's just like, okay, whatever. And I don't mean that facetiously, like when your kids go to you, oh, whatever, I don't mean it like that. What I mean is whatever, because it's going to come. You're not in control of it. And it's just a way to deal with life. Just be with it. Just sit and be. Because sometimes that is the best choice.
Yeah.
Craig?
Yes, Cynthia.
I think this book has just been fantastic, and I was sorry it came to an end, but I think, like you said, I mean, I'm going to begin at the beginning and just really take my time and really think about it. And I felt like everything in here was kind of simple truth, but it was also revelations at the same time. I mean, sometimes I thought, wow, I never looked at it this way. So just looking forward to reading it again.
Yeah, that's one of the things about a great book is you learn something new every time you pick it up. And I think all the books that we've gone through this year are kind of like that. They're all these sort of books that have really well. You can tell that the people who wrote them put their whole selves into them, right? They really put everything that they have accumulated into loving care into those books, and it shows. So it's nice. Anyone else like to say anything? Madeline, you got anything to add, or Brenda? There you go.
Just that this has been so wonderful for me because I really do feel at peace. Difficulty with my children, just told them the truth and how I felt. And you know what? It went a long way with both of them. And I decided to make my own decisions. If they want to do it with me, fine. If they don't, that's fine too. And it seems to be that they are beginning to come around. And I don't think that I would have had, I don't know whether I want to say nerve to do it, but I wouldn't have had the push to do it if I weren't in this class. And I think it's wonderful. I think that we all support each other. I would miss this group tremendously. During this pandemic, this has been fabulous for me. I mean, it's a great outlet. It really is. I've met a lot of nice people. Denise, I feel like I know you so well that I want to come knock on your door.
And you should, except I'm not in Cape Cod.
I'm not in Cape Cod.
Oh, okay. You're in the Caribbean. I don't know.
I'm here. And I can knock on your door. Are you in Westport?
Weston.
Weston? It's not that far. I can drive.
That's right. I would love it. I've
would
talked
love it
about this
too.
group with my
Terrific.
family, and it really is. It's really. It makes me so happy when I talk about all of you involved, how open everyone is, how supportive, how we're all on the same, getting to that enlightenment phase. It's very special. So
It is.
it's been a great gift every Friday. I'm upset when I had to miss it.
Mhm. So those are such nice words, and I'm really grateful for everybody here and for everybody sharing. And what I think I'm going to do now is I'm going to close this session up on the recording, and then we'll kind of finish up. I have a couple more just announcements to make, and if anybody else wants to add anything into the group, that'd be great. So let's just one more time here come back into our seated pose. Come back into stillness, feeling the sit bones into the ground, the crown up towards the sky. And just once again, just see if we can shift back out of the thinking, out of the doing, out of the articulating, and just get back into the body, get back into the breath. Going back home, going back home. That sense of kind of remembering that our true home is within. Bringing the palms together at the heart center. Taking a deep inhale.
Can you get me back on?
Of course.
Exhale.
I'm just going to press the little green because
Inhale.
So even though I
Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Take a deep inhale. All that is sacred and divine in me bows to you and honors all that is sacred and divine in you. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Thank you all so very much for being here today.